America, you will go into war. This is a guaranteed fact. You will have at least 3 years of civil war. God is saying, if any can climb into heaven and change his mind, that is the only way that war will not come. God says that people will hate each other in this country in a manner that foreigners will not understand. So that Japanese person working at the office will simply not understand why on earth the people in the office cannot abide one another, why they are always jockeying for a position, trying to get the other person fired, backbiting. They will be there on their little foreign assignment and wondering what on earth is going on. Why is the office culture like this? God says it is the upwelling of the madness that will eventually spill into civil war. And I see Fox News and CNN riding on the back of this rejected bull, whipping this bull to the last of its life. It is as if this animal that was a cow now appears as a bull and is being ridden to the end of a cliff, to the end of its life, and to the end of a cliff. I see end of a cliff. CNN and Fox News seated on the back of this bull, flogging this animal. And God says that it will be the media who can be pointed to as the ones that will eventually drive this country into civil war. God says they will magnify every transgression. They will magnify every small thing. They will play it again and again on the news. Any small thing that happens in communities, that happens between different ethnic groups, different racial groups, it happens between the rich and the poor, that happens between the state and the citizens, they will replay it on a loop until people snap and take up arms against one another. I'm seeing my own prophecy on the blog from a few years ago of the two men, the Civil War picture that I found after much hunting, of the two men pressed up against one another, of the two different armies that were here in the Civil War, pressed up against one another with hatred, about to go bullet for bullet. It's coming. It is certainly coming. God says an intolerance that you know comes from the spirit realm. It cannot come out of man at this level. This is a spiritual intolerance that will make it impossible for people to accept one another. Blood will flow, not only in America, but in other nations. I said before that I saw war breaking out like a rash. God says there will be international skirmishes. A skirmish is just when two countries maybe have an eruption. It may be with weapons. It may not be. It may be just a day or two or a week or two of violence, and then it just dies down. Or it may escalate into full-out war. God says, have you not read the history books? Do you think that war is a joke? Have you ever heard of displacement of persons? God says that if mercy is shown to you, you will not have war, but what you will have is all the problems that go along with war. Displacement of millions of people. The refugee crisis is coming back to public awareness. The refugee crisis is coming back to this world. The refugee crisis is about to break out more than ever before. This will be an international humanitarian crisis on a scale and on a level that nobody is going to be able to cope with. Nobody has that many spare blankets, he's saying. Nobody has that many cans of food. Nobody has the amount of milk that will be needed for children who no longer have parents. This is for all nations. War is coming to the nations. This is difficult. This is very difficult. I do see the red horse that is riding. I do see the red horse. And this thing is dressed almost as if it's a human being in a military uniform, in a military jacket. It's also dressed like a guerrilla, like those rebel soldiers, guerrilla soldiers. Nigeria, you are going to have such problems. Insurgents are not the least of your problems. You're going to have to deal with a rogue government very soon. Some kind of corruption in the government. that will make the citizens feel like this is intolerable. And those people, you are going to have unrest, God says, in your capital city, Lagos. Lord, have mercy on your people. I just see so many countries tumbling into this kind of conflict